and welcome back. If you're returning, welcome back. If this is your first time, hey, welcome. Sit down, have a seat. I hope you enjoy the video. My name is Riggs, and on this channel we do vaping product reviews, and today we're going to be having a look at the Iconic RDA, with collaboration between Vandy Vapes and Mr. Mike Vapes, who is a YouTube reviewer like myself, but more seasoned, more famous, and more, well, just more. He's a more guy. And me, not so much. But yeah, got it set on the trypophobic phobia, little skunk box that I do love so much. I've had the chance to use it for another week because I did nothing. Maybe I should do nothing more and then get it for another week, but I don't think that's going to work out. He's going to see right through me because I'm way too transparent. So yeah, the boss man said, put an RDA on it, try it out for another week, do a review on the RDA, see what you think. If you like it, fine. Yeah, so I got this one passed on to me from Mildenhall Vape Shack. The Vape Shack at Mildenhall, where I live, where I work. I love the place, however, it does not change my opinion. I will tell you what I think about it and, you know, what I like, what I don't like, sort of thing. So yeah, we're going to jump down in the closing up. We're going to tear it all down, talk about it, put it all back together, come back up, have a vape on it. I'll let you know my thoughts. I'll let you know if it's worth the asking price, or if you're better off to, you know, save your money for something like mountain climbing. Yeah, you could go mountain. No, you are not climbing Fuji on this budget. No way. It's not that expensive. I don't even think you'll get there. But you could get a calendar. And get a calendar with Fuji. Actually, get a calendar with 12 mountains on it. All 12 mountains. And then every month you cycle through to a different mountain. By the end of the year, you basically traveled the world. Yeah. So let's go have a look and see if that's worth a calendar. And a lifetime. Alright. See you down there. Alright, so before we have a look at this, let's go ahead and have a look and see what we get inside the box. Alright, we're going to get the Vandy Vape Roadmap. Alright, it's going to tell you about it. No color pictures this time. No color pictures. Alright. We do got the good old hieroglyphics. I think it pretty much say, nope, pregnant women are allowed in the city of England as long as you recycle. Don't throw in the bin anyone over the age of 18. So yeah, they're still recycling overage pregnant women. Which, yeah, it's a good thing, I guess. Always, you know, bring them back. Kind of get that whole do-over thing. Wish they had that back, you know, back before I had kids. You know, I could have had a do-over. Yeah, and we're gonna get this little Vandy Vape guy. It's gonna say QC passed. That's about it. Qualified certificate. It's kind of sort of Tim the Tool guy looking. It looks more like an angry red button. That could be worrying. Let's see what else we're gonna get. We're gonna get these guys. The Ultim, Clear Ultim, and Delrin, and they are the lit, kind of a lit crap catcher. Got some tire treads going on there to get some grip on them lipsters. Let's see, we're gonna get two Allen keys. Alright, you're gonna get a smaller one, which fits these little guys here, which are grub screws. They are replacements for the 510. Or no, sorry, replacements for the Phillips heads that are on there. So if you want to use Allen, you can use Allen. You're gonna get a 510 pen. You're even gonna get, if you look, oh, where is it? I don't want to take them out of the bag because they're so small, but if you look right there, you can see a replacement spring. By the looks of it, you get one replacement spring. You get one little tiny O-ring. I'll show you where that goes. You get a little tiny screwdriver that is pretty damn useless. Oh, nope, snap. You get a second spring. So you do get two springs in there. 2 grub screws, 1 510 pin, a replacement set of replacements because you do get 4 O-rings, and a 510 adapter. But you know, maybe they should have made one of these a 510 drip tip. I don't know. There you go. What do you think? So that's the Allen key for the little grub screws. This Allen key here is for your squonk pen, as I've got this in squonk mode. All right, so here's the star of the show. So let's take it apart, find out what we're working with. All right. So we're gonna get this drip tip. This is a goon style 810 drip tip. We've seen these on a few of the Vandy Vape products. I do really like them, but we're starting to see them a lot. So something to consider. You're gonna get this Cyclops style airflow along with the inverted snake bite airflow. So this airflow is going to come directly under the coil, and your side airflow is obviously going to come in from the side. It is a 24 mil RDA, and it's 25 mil from the bottom to the top minus the drip tip. You're going to get a big fat O-ring inside here. This is what's going to hold your drip tip on. The tolerances are pretty good. Nothing wrong with there. There are four O-rings in total on this RDA. And inside you're gonna get this lip here, and this is to stop the top cap once it slides onto your build deck, which is you're gonna get 11 mil. So that's your coils are going to sit basically, you know, here. So you don't have a lot of build room because you've got 11 mil here. So that's taken away because it's taken up by the build deck itself. And then you've got about 8 mil from this point to here before the top cap starts to taper in. So you really only have about 8 mil there. And the idea I think behind this is to keep the vapor dense, keep the chamber small, keep the vapor dense. The idea is to produce, you know, better flavor. You're not going to have a lot of airflow adjustment. You're either going to have sort of wide open like this, or you can adjust it to where you have one open and a smaller hole. This is going to still sort of draw it in. It's gonna hit this this cutout onto the build deck where you see it's sort of angled here, and it's going to angle it to come up and kind of hit your coils from sort of this angle here and go up and around. And then of course your inverted snake bites are going to hit it at this angle here, come sort of up more underneath, directly underneath of it, and encompass it from sort of this side. So you've got this side going over, your inverted snake bites coming out and under, kind of encompass the entire outer diameter of the coil. So if you, because of the size of the actual chamber, if you put really large coils in here, you're gonna heat this chamber up. You're gonna cause that chamber to glow up pretty good. These are sort of tri-core aliens. They're a 2.5 mil ID coil. I don't get any problems with the top cap getting too hot. Now the Iconic's got this this dual sort of clamping system going on. First thing you'll notice is that there's only 2 screws. So it's 2 screws holding 2 coils in place, which holds 4 legs in place. So there's no need for a screw for each leg. 2 screws, whole clamp, 4 legs. And it does a pretty good job of doing it too. You're gonna get dual O-rings. These are 2 of the 4 O-rings, but you're not going to get a lip here. So if you might be a little disappointed if you're kind of person that likes that extra lip there for your top cap to fit on. If you do get a bit of juice around this sort of edge, your O-rings, which the tolerance is very good on here, but your O-rings are not going to prevent that juice from hitting down here, and you're going to get a little bit onto your device. I mean, it's going to happen. It's not colossal. We're not talking about, you know, Moses parting the Red Sea kind of amount of liquid. It's just you're going to get a little bit on there. On the bottom, I've got the squonk pen installed because that's what I like doing. You're going to get the Iconic RDA. You're going to get Mike Vapes, manufactured by Vandy Vapes. Yeah, you know, the do not throw away sort of thing there. You're going to get VV, and then you're going to get this very long number that could be Mike Vapes' mobile number there. You could give him a ring, ask him for his discount code, see if you can, I don't know, maybe score a few of these for some friends. If you can, send one my way, and a black Bonza, just if you can, help a guy out. Yeah, so you're gonna get these massive clamp systems. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take them apart, pop the coils out. So there's to one side. Now I'm just gonna take, let's just take the negative leg out. Now inside this screw here is what holds your negative leg onto place, and you're going to notice there's going to be O-ring at number 4. That little tiny O-ring there does two jobs. One, it keeps tension onto the screw so it doesn't just back out on its own, and two, it stops liquid from traversing the threads and getting on the top of your device. Well, take that leg out. Now this negative leg, it is 4mm by 4mm, so it's quite chunky. But because of the way that the screws are vertical rather than horizontal, you're not going to put, when you're tightening it up, you're not going to put that lateral tension. Is that correct? Lateral tension. Yeah. So it's not going to snap. You're not going to have any problems snapping. Plus, I mean, it's 4mm by 4mm. That's small, but in the RDA world, that is some chunky legs. She got chunky legs. And inside, you are going to find that you've got this really tiny screw. Really small screw on this clamp. Now, this is a sort of imperfect clamping system that works perfectly, if that makes any sense. There's a spring only on one side on each clamp, and then in between the two, your negative and your positive post, you're going to get this piece of peak insulation. Do not lose that, because your legs are so close together that prevents any sort of arcing or anything to jump between the legs. All right, so you definitely don't want to lose that. But it also caps these springs, so it stops them from sort of pinging off in their own little direction. But yeah, you'll notice that as you start sort of screwing this down, you'll see how the whole clamp is kind of bent at an angle. And the only reason that it is, it's not a mistake, nothing wrong with it. The only reason that is because there is a spring on this side here and no spring on this side. But because the screw is central and in the longest part, this might move around, but it's not detrimental. It's not going to cause a problem. It's still going to clamp move up, and because this side here is what guides the clamp and keeps it exactly where it needs to be. It's just going to pivot, which is why it's imperfect, because it's not a perfect balance up and down. But it's not going to cause a problem, because the application, the way that it works perfectly with no problems at all. But you are going to get, will fall out, but don't worry, even if the screw falls out, things aren't going to ping everywhere, and it's not going to create a huge oh my gosh moment. But let's just slip that up there a bit. There we go. this is where your top leg's going to go, and this is where your bottom leg's going to go. All right. Now this opening here is 3 millimeter. This one here is only 2 millimeters. So this one is going to dictate the width of the coils, or width of your coil legs that you can put in. Because if you measure them to see if they'll fit into this one, you think that's great, and then you go to you find out you can't cram them in this one. So you've got sort of a 3 mil by 1.5 mil, almost 2 mil, and then 2 mil by sort of 1.5 mil, almost 2 mil. So this one here, your bottom legs are the ones that are going to dictate the size of the coils that you put in here. But again, you're not going to want to put too big of a coil in here because the chamber is quite small. It is quite compact. It will warm that up a fair bit. So let's put this back in there. And slip that in there and then lock it into place. And we'll put our little friend here back in. And then, yeah, we'll pop a build back in and pop up top, vape on it, and see how it is. Alright, so that was a look at the Iconic. As you can see, it's a little bit different. There's some similarities and, you know, possibly some of the other RDAs that we've seen, but it is a slightly different application. The build deck itself, actually, with the size of it, the post and everything, with the airflow, it kind of reminds me of the Kennedy 24 when you're building on it, because once you've got your coils mounted, you know, you don't really have a lot of space for your cotton, and it's, you know, it's a narrow sort of chamber to put your cotton in, so you want to make sure that your cotton isn't packed in there too tight, and that it's only really just resting on the bottom of the build deck, especially if you're squonking, because what happens if you pack too much cotton in here, it's going to restrict the flow of juice to your coils, and you're going to vape on it, and you're going to think, oh, I'm getting dry, and it's not that you're getting dry. It's just that your cotton's packed too tight, and it can't wick fast enough. But there's lots of, you know, just sort of juice there. So you're gonna squonk, you're gonna hit it a few times, you're gonna squonk again, and you're gonna flood the airflow. You're gonna get juice all over your mod, and it's not gonna be the RDA's fault. It's gonna be because you put too much cotton in. And I guess the same could be said if you're dripping. You know, you'll drip, you'll hit it, drip some more, hit it, drip, oh, no, too much, over drip. You know, and then you might clear that up a bit, and then you're back to, you know, in that scenario will just constantly repeat yourself until you think, oh, I'm putting too much cotton in here. So, which leads me to the chamber size. Don't go putting too big coils in there, because it's going to heat up. It's a lot of metal. It's going to heat up. The chamber is tight. You know, you're going to heat that top cap off. It's going to be a little, you know, cooker on the old lips, and it's going to give you a whole unique vaping experience that you weren't expecting. But you know, the coils that I've got in there, I don't have a problem with this thing heating up. It hardly even gets warm, even when I'm sort of chain vaping. So it's fine for me. The clamp system, it's really cool. I'm really glad that they use springs. So many clamp systems don't use springs. I mean, I like the clamp system where the clamp is a part of, or part of the threaded screw. So when you screw in, the clamp comes up, or you screw out, the clamp drops down. I like those. I love those. But I also love the ones that are spring loaded. And you can see there's got some really tiny springs in there that are held in, but you know, as you back it out, the spring allows the clamp to come up. You screw it in, you compress it, and that's fantastic. I love that. You know, as I showed in the up close, it will lean, but that's natural because there's a spring only on one side. And this is where the imperfection comes in, because if you wanted it perfect with the tolerances, then you would put a notch on the other side and then add a spring there and allow the whole thing to just perfectly move up and down. However, it's kind of an imperfect design, but it works perfectly. I mean, that sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but you know, if you were going on visuals, that would be the way to make it perfect. You know, that doesn't mean that it's flawed, because it works. It doesn't hook up, it doesn't skip, you know, it doesn't get caught. It works perfectly. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It just looks out when you start screwing it down and letting go. The deck, you know, and the you got to remember the deck is only 6 mil deep, which sounds like a lot, but there's not a lot of deck space down there. So again, you know, watch how you do your continence stuff. Airflow. Some people might want more adjustability in their airflow, at least more control over it, you know. But you've kind of got this a similar sort of thing that you do with the Pulse 24 or the Pulse 22 or just the Pulse. You know, you could shut off one side, or you could shut off the other side, or you could just shut them both off and try and suck a bowling ball through a straw. It's just not gonna, you know, happen. But so, you know, there's not a lot of control there. It's just kind of an either or. Well, it's just the same with this. It's an either or, but it's like that with sort of snake bite or inverted snake bite, you know, airflows. So, you know, if you want more airflow or more control over your airflow, you know, that might be it. There might be a bit of a con to you. The clamps, you have to mount your coils at the same time. You can't mount them independently of each other, or yeah, you have to manipulate and then hold. And I do prefer systems where I can, you know, mount one coil, put it in, trim the legs, whatever, then mount the other side, rather than trying to hold 2 coils in place. You know, and that's just me. Maybe I'm not as dexterous in the old digits as some people out there. Maybe that's why I don't like it. I'm not really sure. I could say I get vertigo when I try to do 2 things with 1 finger or 2 fingers, and I just ignore that. All right, just, you can't get vertigo, can you? I used to know a guy who used to get vertigo. Man, he was the strangest. Just, wow. Yeah, you should sit. Never mind. But that's about it. That's really about it. I can't really think of. It's a good RDA. It's 35 pounds. Yeah, so it's worth more than a calendar. It is worth more than a calendar. It's worth getting. I'm just afraid that we're going to reach a point where people are going to start deciding which RDAs or which RDTAs or which RTAs that they get based on who they like more. You know, so it's that'll suck when it becomes just a popularity contest. All right, but you know, I mean, so far, you know, things are looking for the most part pretty good. We've seen some really great products come out because we've had those influences from, you know, other people who, I guess, who are sort of have been vapors for a long time and know what they like, you know, and haven't been able to, I guess, you know, never maybe even thought about designing their own atomizers, and then companies come along and say, hey, you know, collaborate with us and we're going to design it. And I think that's great. I'm just worried that eventually it's just going to become, you know, a popularity contest, and the hardware itself just kind of goes, you know. So I hope we're not going to see that. All right. So overall, it is good. It is good. Is it better than some of the other RDAs that Vandy Vape and other reviewers have come out with? No, but I would say that it is as good. So, you know, it's really gonna come down to which one that you like building on the most, which one that you feel that you're getting the most out of, which one that you feel that you'd like the look of the most. You know, as long as it doesn't come down to which reviewer you like the most, then you're on to a winner. Yeah, you're on to a winner. So yeah, that's it for me. I will see you on the next one, which will be another RDA, but this one's going to be a little different because it's not my style of RDA. But I'll tell you how I've gotten on with that one. All right. So I will see you later. Thank you so much for joining. If you do like the video, please do like and subscribe. And there's a bell over there. It's right there. Look, see that little, I don't know. I hardly ever hit it myself, so it goes ding. I put out a video. I try to put out 2 to 3 a week. So, you know, if you like them, hey, check it out. And I really do, I really do appreciate all the support. So hang in there. I'll be back with another one real soon. All right, take care all. See you later.